All right. We are live. We are live. Peace. Alafia Mandala Bibi Fuhudio. It's your favorite warrior, Blak Pantha, in the building. Today with a very special guest, my brother Kaloji from the Siafu movement. What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm here. I'm in the building. You know what I mean? And couldn't be at a better place and a better time. You know, happy to be here.
Oh man, we happy to have you, man. Happy to have you. You know, we always try to bring people that are qualified in their field on the show, whether it be African history, whether it be spiritual systems, whether it be politics, religion, social activism. We like to have qualified people. And this brother right here is, man, an OG. Been out there for a long time, making it happen on various different streets, resides in Atlanta, Georgia. I've personally been to some of the brothers' events, personally seen him in action. It's a powerful brother right here, brother Kaloji, man. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for dedicating your time to the Mossi Warrior Clan. For the people that don't know you, just give a brief introduction for the people that don't know you.
Yeah, for those of you who are unaware, my name is Kaloji Jamachanga, from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Reside in ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, what we call Rap Brown, Georgia. I consider myself a freedom fighter. I'm an African, and you know, just make an effort, a strong effort to organize internationally, you know, and being on the scene to fight oppression against our people.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you for all your efforts, brother. Let's get right into the questions, man. You're producing a documentary right now.
Yes.
But first we want to talk about organizing is the new cool. What made you come up with that, and then talk about its purpose in the community?
No doubt. Again, I've been organizing for the majority of my life. And, you know, we recognize that oftentimes, you know, our story is told and untold. When it's told by folks who was nowhere around and, you know, wasn't on the scene, and, you know, or it's told by Europeans or whoever else, you know. So we wanted to document some of our efforts, our works, and not only our efforts, but brothers and sisters who came before us. We wanted to, you know, while they're still here and while we're still here, we wanted to show, you know, give an example of what freedom fighting is about here and abroad. So, you know, organizing is new cool, that whole concept. We started working on this film like 13 years ago. And we realized at that time, you know, it was a whole lot of this is the new cool and this is the new black and this is the new that, you know what I mean? So our whole position was organizing is the new cool. And to some, they may say, what the hell is organizing got to do with blah, blah, blah? Organization is everything. You understand what I'm saying? Especially when you're dealing with systems and structures. You know, if you don't have, you know, if you're not organized in life, period, then you'll have a hard time and a hard way to go. So basically, we wanted to, you know, just make it hip, you know, make it something that folks can, you know, look into and say, oh, what's that? You know what I mean? So what we use a thing called creative resistance. And with our creative resistance, we're able to reach the masses by utilizing tools that they're familiar with. You know what I mean? Instead of us saying, you know, hip hop is garbage and this and that, so on and so forth, we create our own version. We take our own style. We introduce and infuse different flavors and we flip it, you know what I mean, in order to make it do what it need to do, and not in a way that's corny. Because oftentimes when we deal with our culture, we think that because of the fact that we talking that we African or that we pro-Black or whatever we choose to call ourselves or how we choose to define ourselves, we think that just saying it or just looking the part is enough. You know what I mean? We are fly people. So we have to come with style. We just can't be corny, just stepping up in the joint thinking because of the fact that we talking about Black power and we walking around looking crusty and looking powerless, that folks should just latch on and say, oh, that's positive. You understand what I'm saying? That's not the reality of life. You know, so we wanted to kind of utilize our skills and talents, you know, through art, through literature, you know what I mean, through everything we do, every form of resistance. We wanted to try to, you know, make it a little bit, little fresh, you know, keep it relevant. So we thought organizing as a new crew was a good lane to jump in and, you know, and cruise control in.
Absolutely, man. I definitely agree with that. And when, you know, in saying organizing is the new cool, you keeping what you're doing, you know, young. You know, you're inviting, you know, more young people, you know, to be a part of this thing. And I think a lot of people lose sight of the importance of that because, you know, we can't do this forever. People got to come behind us and keep the torch going. So I love the concept. I love that, you know, you guys are bringing organization to the community because that's one of the things that we definitely lack as a people, unfortunately. But that's just what it is. So you say you've been working on this for 13 years, family. This is dedication to somebody that's been in the trenches. So, you know, please support this this man. We're gonna put the website in the chat room. If you want to donate or, you know, you want to join any programs or anything like that, you know, we're going to put his information out there. So, you know, I run your website that the film bridges the gap between the elders and the young people. Speak to that for a moment and tell us about, you know, how y'all were able to do that with this film.
Okay, right on. So check it. One of the unique things about the generation I'm coming up out of, right? We came right after the whole 60s era. You know what I mean? I was born in 1970. You know what I mean? So we came after the 60s era, but then we came before the whole internet era and the social media era and all of that type stuff. You know what I mean? Before the cell phone and before the laptop. You know what I mean? But we were the seeds. We were the as the brother stated in the film from the West Coast, we were the bastards of the party. You know what I mean? We came up out of this particular situation. And many of us developed relationships with brothers and sisters or comrades who was doing their thing before we were ever born. One of the things I noticed about this era, and I'm not critiquing, you know what I mean, the current era because of the fact that, you know, we ain't set tripping on, you know, what side of town or what side of time you came from. You know what I mean? This is about revolution. It's about liberation. So let me clarify that out the gate. But one of the things I noticed is, you know, when I was coming up, we had the opportunity to sit at the feet of qualified elders. One of the things you mentioned earlier, you said people who are qualified in their particular arena or field or study. You know, so we had the ability to, we had the opportunity to sit at the feet of qualified elders. You know what I mean? So many of us, like where I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. There were a number of different places in the New York area. I'm 45 minutes away from Harlem, where you can go check out the Dr. Benz, the Dr. Clarks, the Marimba Alis, and the Theophila Bangas, and, you know what I mean, and the Wade Nobles, and, you know what I mean, so on and so forth, right? You could check that out, but then at the same time, you know, of course, those were the more or less the scholars, right? But then you had the opportunity to go sit with the freedom fighters. You know what I mean? Some of the different brothers and sisters from the Panther Party, from MOVE and RAM, Revolutionary Action Movement, and SNCC, and so on and so forth. And then there were other elders who were there who were Garveyites. You know what I mean? And elders who were comrades of El Hajj Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X. You know what I mean? So we had the opportunity to feel all of that type flavor. Now, unfortunately, a lot of folks don't know who's who and what's what because of the fact that the internet is the gift and the curse. We have the opportunity to drop jewels, but also we have the opportunity to get sidetracked by some fools, right? You know what I mean? You got all types of provocateurs and so on and so forth that come disrupt the situation and have you thinking that you're actually thinking. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's a difference. You know what I mean? So, what we did with this film, and I'm sorry if I'm giving y'all the long-winded version, but I'm trying to get y'all to feel where I'm coming from.
No, brother, keep it going. You know,
Cool.
We need all that information. You know, being that you came up in a special era, because like you said, it's right after the 1960s. So you have knowledge on the ground that, you know, a lot of us don't have. A lot of us can't read about.
Right.
A lot.
Right.
You know, even find that information unless we talk to people like you that was around during that time frame. It was a very special time frame. And,
right.
you know, that kind of information is priceless in today. Because, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unbelievably, because not even coming from, not to cut you off, but not even from that particular era, but what I was saying earlier about just some of these OGs who still exist right now. You know what I mean? Some of these elders who were giants, and some who many folks have never met. We had the opportunity to sit at their feet. You know what I mean? And while sitting at the feet of our elders, it don't just necessarily mean that we came inside the lecture hall, but we walked with them and talked with them and traveled with them. So you had the opportunity to see different places that they talk about. You know what I mean? On both coasts, on different parts of the land. You know, so organizing is the new cool. So what we wanted to do, of course, I started an organization back in 2004 called the FTP Movement. And of course, you know, I was organizing way before that with a number of different formations, you know what I mean, with a number of different comrades, you know, who put in work around this country. I'm not going to bust no names or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Those who know. Those who don't know. And if you don't know, if you want to know, research. You know what I mean? But I work with brothers and sisters who put that work in. You know, so we wanted to highlight, like I said, the efforts that we made, mistakes, campaigns, because a lot of times we talk about this stuff, but we don't have any actual work history, any street history. You know what I mean? So we wanted to kind of just show what and how we was doing what we was doing, and then at the same time check in and talk to the Baba Herman Fergusons, you know what I mean, who's an ancestor now, the Amiri Barakas, who's an ancestor now, you know what I'm saying, the Druba Ben Wahads, the Cynthia McKinneys, and so on and so forth. Just so many different brothers and sisters who have been involved in this fight for liberation. You know what I mean? So we fused all that and we combined it, and we came up with organizing is the new cool.
Awesome. So I was reading the description of the documentary. It says, this film stomps out apathy. Can you tell us what you mean by that?
Stomps out apathy. What do we mean by that? We mean that basically, you know, we have so many folks that separate our fight. You know what I mean? They come up with ways and means to not be involved. You know what I mean? So we tap in and try to find out what is it that you know, because so many times we're against so much that we don't know what we're for. You know what I mean? Sometimes we hate the police so much, and we hate Trump so much, and we hate this so much, we forgot to love. So what can you get in on? You know what I mean? You might not be about fighting for the rights of political prisoners. You might not be against fighting for the victims of police terrorism. But you got to eat, motherfucker. Are you down to grow some food? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You down to do that? You down to build some houses, to buy some land? What you down with? You know what I mean? Or you just want to party and bullshit? And we got something for you on that too. We'll do some shows and events or whatever, raise some resources off your ass so we can come do this work that we doing. You know what I mean? But what are you down to do? So our thing is, boom. You know, we trying to bring back that enthusiasm, bring back that interest, bring back that concern. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that we're on this planet right now, and we know who's destroying this planet. So we got to decide what side of the barricades we want to be on. You know what I mean? You want to be for, are you African or are you anti-African? Let me just simplify it.
Yeah.
Let me just simplify it.
You hit the nail
Not are you African American or you Jamaican and none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? None of that bullshit. Are you African? Are you part of this whole situation, or are you switching sides like a faggot? Like whatever come out that sound good or whatever. Whenever a tyrant like Trump steps up and says, I'm gonna start. I want to invest in the Black community. All of a sudden, you want to vote for him. You know what I mean? We got to think about, how we moving. You know what I mean? People if you are against our advancement, then you are our enemy, and that's without question. If what you rapping about, if you ain't got nothing to say about our advancement, then you are our enemy. What you teaching about? If you ain't teaching about us advancing, then you are our enemy, and that's point blank, period. You know what I mean? So we're trying to give people the opportunity to, get on the right side of the barricade. And you don't have to get down with us, but get with somebody or something that is about our survival.
Absolutely. It's no easy way to say that, because you hit the nail on the head. A lot of people will hesitate to get involved in things because they tell you what they don't like, what they don't want to see, what they don't want to be a part of. They'll never tell you what they, want to do, what you like to do,
Right.
I know what you hate. Tell me what you what you trying to do though.
You sound like a hater right now. You're like nothing.
I heard what you don't want to do, but tell me what you want to do. So,
that makes you not want to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? like shit. Maybe you're right.
We psych ourselves out, man. We take ourselves out the game because
we're
so focused on don't want or complaining so much, we don't really think about what we could do, and that's why I feel people don't join organizations. It's kind of like a cop out sometimes, because they may not like this person, may not like this, may not do this, but they're not doing anything, and that's
right.
That's not good either. You might not want to join this group, but you got to do something.
And that's a dangerous person, though, if you think about it. That's a dangerous person. Everybody agreeing that, that we're under attack. We're under assault. You know what I mean? We are suffering. You know what I mean? We have all these ills and these dysfunctions and so on and so forth. And you mean to tell me with all of this shit going on, you ain't going to do nothing but talk about what don't work? You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about this. It's a famine. Everybody trying to grow food. Everybody trying to pull stuff up. You talking about by next year, the hole in the ozone going to be so heavy that you might as well not do nothing. You just going to sit there and tell us how we ain't going to be able to have no crops next year. So we all just going to starve. You know what I'm saying? We like, fuck it. We just going to die. We going to die anyway. What type of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? That's a sick individual. That is a sick people, and it's a lot of our folks that run around like that. And it's like we just gotta call it like we said. Like, dude, you do realize that you are engaging in the sidetracking of the slave. You trying to stop production altogether. You trying to say, look, we got to get free. No, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't even like that Harriet Tubman movie. What the fuck they got to do with us being free? You know what I'm saying? We like, yo, we got to get up. We got to do this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
We are bugging. We are bugging. So it's like,
how important is it for Black people to organize, in your estimation?
How important is it for Black people to organize?
Yes.
I'm gonna simplify it. How important is it for your body, your physical frame right now, to have a system of organization in it? The heart can't beat when it wants to. Huh?
Pretty much dead without it.
Yeah, that's us. There it is. There it is. We ain't gotta get deep with that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta. I can't give you no long philosophical answer for that one. You know what I mean? It's simple. We pretty much dead without it. Without organization, we pretty much dead without it. And that's what we are. Dying off. We are becoming a dying breed. You understand what I'm saying? We're becoming dispensable. You know what I mean? Like, we're not even going to matter after a while. You know what I mean? So they enjoy, you know, the hunt. It's like being on in one of these areas where they have an overabundance of mice or something. They got to kill or rats. They got to kill the rats off. So they got to poison them. They got to shoot them. They got to do whatever they got to do because of the fact that they're trying to bring some new shit in. That's what the police are doing with us right now. That's what the state is doing with us. Totally annihilating us. Here, on the continent, you know what I'm saying, all over the planet. Slow kill. And we sitting here arguing about insignificant shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, an organization is, you know, if we as a people are a body, then organization is mandatory. It's a necessity.
And I don't think people realize like how much you already organize in your daily life. You know,
yes.
we find a way to organize for other things, but the things that matter, we fall short.
Yes. Yes. We got them passports, them passwords of social media organized. We got them motherfuckers down pat. we know more passwords than phone numbers. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't know now.
Yeah.
If I lost my contacts today, I'm in trouble.
Right. Yeah, but dig that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, that again. Huh?
I said, but I'll be able to use Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. As long as it works, yeah. You know what I mean? But, you know, you gotta have that information from them satellite phones when it all go down. You know, so that goes back to you know, like I said, the era I come from. You were forced to remember phone numbers. You had to know a phone number by heart. You might not always have a pen and paper. A girl give you a phone number, you sitting there, you ain't got no pen or paper, whatever. I bet you memorize it. You memorize it like a rap. Or 2, 3, 5, or 5. You know. See, but now it's like you ain't got to remember. Hell yeah. It better not nobody say that to you. Somebody catch me trying to speak to you, you still rapping that number till you get to a pen and paper. Now, if you ain't locking in your phone or you ain't got no card, it's a rap. You don't even know what area code it's coming from. You don't know nothing. You don't know no name, nothing. You know what I mean? So that's how it go, man. I mean, you know, so we gotta definitely get on point if we serious about winning, man. And I'm concerned because of the fact that right now, you know, I'm not one of those cats to buy into no black on black violence and all that. You know what I mean? I know, you know, that all that shit's by design. But I'm saying it's like we're self-sabotaging. We're sabotaging ourselves right now. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that we have tools that we can utilize to advance, but we've been, you know, we're caught up in all this other nonsense. You know what I mean? We're trying to see who got the most likes on social media. How many cats follow them? Yo, I hear cats all the time like, yo, man, you need to get your Twitter following up. I mean, they be dead serious. They're like, what you mean? Damn, you see your Twitter thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, whatever, dude. I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not even my train of thought. I use whatever I could as a tool. There happened to be a platform that I'm rarely on, but we utilize our tools, man, and you know, for advancement. And everything can't be entertainment.
Right. That's a big one you said there. Everything can't be entertainment. We want to be entertained a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, we like that. We like that. You know what I mean? And it's understandable because, you know, the people, we fucked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why when something crazy happened, cat fall on his ass, we laughing at him. You watch TV, somebody get shot in the ass. Oh, you got shot in the ass. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're entertained by what Europeans told us was funny. You know what I mean? We laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, but we're gonna be all right though.
So with this film, tell the people, you know, once you're done with the production, how can people see the film?
Yeah, so January 2020 coming up, we're hitting a number of different film festivals. We didn't want to just drop it straight to DVD because we feel like a lot of times, you know, we kind of rush to get what we can get for that moment. And we devalue our own efforts. So like I said, we've been working on this joint 13 years. We're not about to just put it on the DVD and set it on somebody's table. You know what I mean? And that's no disrespect to those who are doing it that way, but we want to hit as many screens as possible, home and abroad. We have a number of different things lined up, like I said, from festivals to screenings. We did our first screening in Atlanta a few months ago, and you know, great review. You know, folks dug it, gave us our feedback that we needed and everything, and you know, we run it with it. But it's a dynamite piece, and like I said, we're definitely looking forward to you know, to you and your audience checking it out.
Absolutely, man. You know, as soon as I can get out to one of the films or you know, definitely want to check out this powerful film, you know, something you've been working on for a long time. Definitely want to check that out.
Absolutely. And yeah.
The film festival game, a lot of people don't understand that film festival platforms is powerful because you don't know who is going to be in the house watching your film. You know, I mean, I've seen guys go on tours for years just off of a film festival, showing their film around the world just because they got it into one of the film festivals and somebody important saw it and wanted to get behind it. So, you know, it's definitely something that I think that's a great idea. And man, I can't wait to see what comes from it. Can't wait to see what comes
No
from
doubt.
it.
No doubt. Yeah, definitely.
I put the website in the chat room. OrganizingistheNewCool.com. Hit that website, family. You can donate on that website, family. If you want to donate to the project, you can do that on that website and watch the trailer, read a little bit about the description and what they're trying to accomplish with this film. It's going to be powerful. So definitely support. Definitely, you know, check it out. And I'm certain that you're going to enjoy the content, as I'm certain I will as well. Let's talk about your other movement, brother, because you know you do a little bit of everything. Let's talk about the Siafu movement. Talk to me about the programs you got with that.
Yes, sir. The Siafu movement, where it's at, that's the work. That's the actual work. You know what I mean? Siafu movement is like it's a system, and it's a piece that's comprised of a number of different parts, arms, legs, so on and so forth. We deal with everything from grassroots organizing to urban survival and preparedness. So we have a number of different organizations that are under this particular umbrella, including the FTP Movement, Urban Survival Preparedness Institute, African Martial Arts Institute, Siafu Youth Corps, Mama's Army, Freedom Home Academy Atlanta, National Coalition to Combat Police Terrorism, and Community Movement Builders. Those are a few of our components in a few different organizations that rock under this particular umbrella. We call ourselves the People's Army because of the fact that, you know, as Miles said, without a People's Army, then the people have nothing. You know what I mean? We often talk about, you know, our great generals and our great warriors and scholars. And so many of these brothers and sisters, you know, govern land. You know what I mean? Even in modern times. But the thing is, when you don't have a force behind it, it don't mean anything. And that goes back to the whole organization side of things. You know what I mean? So, you know, the Siafu movement is just that. It's the ant. It's the ant out of Kenya, you know, doing that work.
Absolutely, brother. I was thoroughly impressed with the website. Went on there and looked at all the programs that you got on there, man. And I've just seen how it's grown as well. From the FTP movement, from the Ubuntu Fest, you know, that you were a part of, and then now, you know, so many different programs. Shouts out to Baba Balagoon, you know, with the,
Yes,
with the martial arts, African martial arts, which I attend whenever I'm in it. Man, it's just a multitude of programs. So I'm gonna put that website in the description, in the chat as well. People can check out the Siafu movement. And, you know, if you're in the Atlanta area, you know, maybe you can come out to an event and, you know, see this thing in action, man. You gotta check this out.
Yeah, and we're not to cut you off, but we are a national formation. We have chapters in Los Angeles. We have chapters in Chicago and a number of different pieces throughout the country. So, you know, you don't have to just be in Atlanta. We can definitely link you up with the right folks from Oakland to Tubman City. You know, so, you know, say that word and you know, one thing about what we do as far as the whole Siafu movement as well is that it's not about just the organizations that are part of our particular camp. We have affiliates and brothers and sisters and comrades throughout the country. So pretty much wherever you are in these states and in a number of different places abroad, we can link you with some folks who are out there doing this work. So I don't want to trick nobody or fool nobody into believing that we the only people doing anything. Nah, it ain't that at all. You know what I mean? It's just that we have a certain structure that we are pushing, but at the same time, there's a number of different brothers and sisters around the country and around the world that's really getting it in. You know what I mean? So definitely, you're trying to do that work, get at us, and we'll set you straight.
Man, now that's something I did not know, family. So you heard the brother. They have expanded to other states. So, you know, reach out to them and, you know, get involved. Definitely. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Website in the chat, www.thepeoplesarmy.org. You know, go on that thing and check out all of the programs that they got going. Now, for those that don't know, Siafu, the word Siafu, we're talking about African ants.
Yes.
You know, in naming your organization after that, it promotes a certain type of functional unity. So was that your goal when you were deciding on this avatar for your movement?
Yeah, actually, the Siafu, that goes back to the FTP movement in the beginning, 15 years ago. You know, the whole Siafu situation, for those who are not aware, it's an ant out of East Africa, out of Kenya, like you said, and it's an ant that's blind, and it grows to like an inch. I remember watching the Discovery Channel, one of those joints, and I saw a frog leap into a patch of Siafus, and within 15 minutes, there was no evidence that the frog ever existed. You understand what I'm saying? They strip down water buffaloes. They crawl up in elephant tusks and take elephants out. You know what I mean? But like I said, they're blind. and they're not poisonous, but they'll eat you up. So the thing is, you know, the ant is also often thought of as an insignificant creature on the planet, but the ant has a very important role in the whole ecosystem and just as far as building as a whole. You know, so we wanted to show that we were small as individuals, but together we light that ass up.
Absolutely. Ants are some of the best predators in the animal kingdom. People are probably not aware of that because, you know, the first thing you think of is a lion or you know, a
Right.
wildebeest or something like that, something big and powerful like a rhino or something like that. But it's
Right.
the ant that is one of the best predators in the animal kingdom because of that togetherness, because of that, you know, that functional unity that your organization
Communication. Yeah.
like you said, take down elephants, take down way bigger beasts that you didn't think was possible just because of that functional unity, man. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I always say, don't unify for unification's sake. Unify with a goal and a plan. And you guys definitely got that, and you're, you know, executing it throughout the community. So, man, hats off to you.
We appreciate it.
So, if people want to get involved, if they so choose to, what are the requirements for them to, you know, come be a part of that? What you got going on over there?
Man, you know, again, we have different components. We have certain pieces that are designed for the masses. You can just come on out and get busy. You know what I mean? We might have a garden day. You just come on out, get in the dirt. You know what I mean? The way we get down, a lot of organizations, you know, you just register and pay a fee and all that crazy shit. With us, you have to prove yourself by coming around, do the work. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna just come up and be, I'm Baba so-and-so, so, you know, hear me roar. You know what I mean? Unless your track record is tremendous already and we already know who you are and your work has been proven throughout the diaspora, then, you know, you coming in like you coming to do that work. And that's what it's all about. Because, you know, a lot of times, man, we get caught up in this whole celebrity cult of personality thing. You know what I mean? Since I'm such and such the rapper, or I'm such and such the actor, or, you know, I got 18 DVDs out and nobody don't give a fuck about none of that. Put that work in. And whatever you come to, you know what I mean? Like, that don't mean that, you know, I might have a position of leadership on one side of the fence, and on the other side of the fence, I'm the smallest student in the class. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a humbleness situation. You know, it don't matter that you are so-and-so or whatever. Just because you fought in 18 wars, that don't make you the martial arts instructor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you got a black belt in YMCA Kung Fu, don't mean you come up in the African Martial Arts Institute and you're going to be, you know, you're going to be ranked up. You come in like everybody else. Huh?
That boy said YMCA Kung Fu.
Man, you know, shit, whatever it do. You know, but basically, like I said, man, it's a situation where, you know, you just come around, man. It's like any nation, you know. And yeah, we vet you out. So, you know, you police or whoever you think you might be, you come around and, you know, just think that you coming with that BS. It's the wrong type of atmosphere.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Talk to me about that. Oh, go ahead, brother.
No, I say you ain't gonna have nothing to report on but work. They be like, man, they keep growing these fucking potatoes. You know what I'm saying?
They're doing a lot of work over there.
Yeah, like God damn, like they got a film out. Let's watch the film, man.
It's the hardest cover assignment I ever had. Take me off.
Hell yeah, man, listen, they be like, man, shit, I'd rather be a slave. You know what I'm saying? We finished with that ass, man. They be like, man.
Oh man. Talk to me about the Siafu Youth Corps.
Yeah, Siafu Youth Corps, again, you know, we see the whole Boys and Girl Scout programs. You know, we have brothers and sisters often talk about, yeah, you know, they 7-year-olds going to the range. You know what I'm saying? We always talk about what white folks is doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they the litmus test to war. You know what I mean? As if the soldiers on the continent, you know what I mean, didn't start at young ages. You know what I mean? We're impressed when they take a couple little goofy ass white kids to the range and they shooting. Okay, whoopie-doo. You know what I mean? What's to stop us from having a scouting program? You know what I mean? What's to stop us from teaching our children how to grow, from teaching our children how to defend themselves, from teaching our children about their history and about their culture? You know what I mean? That's what the Siafu Youth Corps is about. You know what I mean? It's an African Boys and Girl Scout program that teaches and trains our youth to be young freedom fighters, young organizers. You know what I mean? To be model examples in their community, without having to switch their doctrine or their culture or any of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about, man. So we,
you know, because, you know, I was on the website reading about it, and, you know, everything from rites of passage programs to archery to leadership skills to, you know, agriculture, man. I mean, you know, like you said, being around in an environment where you don't have to switch up what you believe in to get skills, you know, for kids growing up in Pan African households, that's an issue, you know, because when you go join the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, you don't, you know, you're not going to be in that type of environment. So you may have to dumb down,
compromise your position. Yeah,
compromise, you know, your integrity and morals to try to get, you know, these skills. So, you know, putting that program is very necessary, because kids can just be how they were raised in an environment that teaches the same skills without having to compromise anything. I think that was an excellent idea. Whoever came up with that, you know, was spearheading that was an excellent idea, because I've heard that complaint before, you know, from different, you know, I want to send my child to this, but there's too many others, you know, and I don't feel comfortable. You know, I want to send my child to this, you know, the teacher, you know, he dresses up in women's clothing, and I'm not comfortable sitting there.
Yeah. And that can happen. You know, or, you know what I'm saying?
It's an issue, you know. I want to see that cute baby girl, but
man, in America, in America, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? You might go there one day and the teacher's in a goat outfit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whatever, this is how they do. You know what I'm saying? In the furry outfit, whatever. But the thing is, man, the issue that we have is there are a lot of different scouting programs and African centered schools and all of that. But we need the support of the people in order for it to exist, because what we would like to see with Siafu Youth Corps, we want to have something that rivals the Boys and Girl Scout program. Whereas in every city, we can have these different formations regardless of what the name of your organization is. You understand what I'm saying? As long as you ain't no pedophile, you can pass the requirements and everything. We want to be able to have one of these, you know, wherever African youth are. You know what I'm saying? And that be the litmus test. And we have our own standards. So you're not going to come to our joint talking about, well, you know, by law, I can join your organization because blah, blah is getting funded from over here. We need to fund shit ourselves, and we won't have certain issues. You know what I mean? Right. So then when this little boy or little girl, this young man or this young woman comes into this particular program, we already know what their pronoun is. You know what I'm saying? You know, we know what it is. It's like, it's what you are is what you are right here. Period. You know, but we have to be able to, you know, we have to set the standards. But at the same time, again, we always talk about we have to buy black. Buying black is not just a situation where you buy black and you're looking for a hookup. That defeats the purpose. You need a hookup on every damn thing. You might as well go buy white. Because they ain't giving up shit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't giving up nothing. You know what I mean? So you come in and Jew me down. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, dude, let's go ahead on, man. You know what I mean? I can't, you won't even be able to afford to be where you at after a while, hooking everybody else up.
I'm at to use that one, bro.
Yeah, man. Telling you, man, we tripping. We all the way to the left, man. We don't know what we want to do. We just confused for the sake of confusion, man. You know what I mean?
Talk about this Freedom Home Academy, man. I know, it has roots in Chicago.
Yes.
I know you're. Have you launched it in Atlanta, or are you still in the beginning stages? Or?
We actually have a space right now that we will be launching it at officially. We're looking at probably around the first of the year right now. So we just locked some things down. But Freedom Home Academy comes out of Chicago. It was co-founded by my brother Marcus Klein and his wife, who transitioned a few years ago, Shaki. And, I remember when he was first putting it together, and I was in Chicago. I stopped by the house, and he was telling me about, how he was going about it and all that. I'm like, all right, dude, I hear what you're talking about. But, he had something, you know what I mean? He did what he said he was going to do, so we go back over 20 years, you know what I mean? So, before they had children or whatever. So, back when he had Frontline magazine, he had a magazine called Frontline, which was hard hitting. It was cutting, it was sharp. It was like, he was naming names, doing everything from the Boule to some of these different organizations. He was giving them the blues, so Frontline magazine was a international magazine. That's how I was first turned on to Baba Baruti, because Baruti was actually one of the writers at Frontline magazine. You know what I mean? So they had some heavy hitters, everybody from Runoko Rashidi to a little bit everybody was in that. But that was a magazine that Marcus started. So he always came with that thoroughness. So bringing that into the whole Freedom Home Academy environment, Freedom Home Academy is now an institution where the children can learn 3-4 different languages. You know what I mean? Where they're learning martial arts, where they're learning about their culture, and they're competitive academically. What happens is a lot of times one of the things I found, I taught for 9 years in the school system up in Connecticut. But one of the things I found when it comes to quote unquote African-centered schools, oftentimes we have the look, we have the image, we know the terms, we got our Swahili down packed, you know what I mean? But a lot of times academically, we miss the mark. You understand what I'm saying? And if we say that we are the originators, we're the greatest people on this planet, the greatest people that ever walked this planet, you know what I mean? The children of civilization. If we say that, then our standards should be higher, should be greater. You know what I mean? We should move as if we're these great people that we talk about. And if we're not, then we're a joke. We can't keep talking about we built the pyramids and you ain't built shit. You ain't even lift a brick up. You know what I mean? You don't even mow the lawn outside your damn apartment complex. You talking about we built some pyramids. You know what I mean? We be tripping. I saw a brother, man, one day. I was standing outside and I was building with some folks, and this brother come up and he just started interrupting what I'm talking about, and he telling me, I just need to be sovereign and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So he keep on rapping and everything. So after a while, I'm tired of him talking. So I'm like, man, just give me a card, man. I'll call you, whatever. You know what I mean? So dude tells me, he said, yeah, man, right now I'm staying at the shelter and, my phone is off, but, what's your Facebook or whatever? I'm like, dude, I wasted 30 minutes with me talking about being sovereign and you homeless.
Oh, yeah, we got to work on that homeless thing first, brother.
Right. So I'm not, and it's not, and that's not a diss. I'm just saying, like, we have high hopes and lofty ideas.
Yeah.
But where's the reality? You understand what I'm saying? So we got to start with where we at. And it's a difficult, it's a painful experience that we're going through. Because like one of the rappers said, everybody want to be somebody better than everybody. It's like we caught up on the terms and I'm such and such and I'm this and I'm that and my people was the original and all that shit sounds good, but right now we all fucked up together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can outshine each other all day long, but your stomach ain't getting no fuller than mine.
Yeah. That's the issue.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
and,
we gonna
which that y'all offer French, man. I know most people gonna gravitate towards the Kiswahili, but French impressed me because as a researcher, a lot of stuff about Africa is in French. Unfortunately.
Absolutely. Because they were the chief colonizers.
Yeah, what the French did. So a lot of stuff is in French. Even in my father's home, one of his homes, Senegal. I mean, they don't speak English there. They speak French.
Right.
A lot of that's why a lot of Cheikh Anta Diop's research is in French.
Right.
So
him, Offal Movement, all of them. Yeah.
I mean, as we talk about Egypt in this community, if you don't read French or got somebody to decipher French, you're missing out on a lot of information about Egypt. A lot of it.
Right.
And I mean a whole lot of it in French, unfortunately.
Right.
That's what it is. And my brother, tried to tell years ago. And I was like, I ain't really trying to. But then I saw what he was talking about. I said, man, really put all this in French.
Right. I mean, it's just so many, different scholars, like you said, that's their first language. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have so many different individuals, man, from Fanon to Cabral, just so many different people. It's like, you have to know your colonizer's language. You understand what I'm saying? You have to, or you because they'll be telling you about yourself right in front of you, and you don't even know they're talking about you.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'll be sharing jewels right in front of you, or he don't know no better. You know what I mean? So we definitely have to, it's important, especially when we talk about, like I said, trade and whether you're going to trade with them or not. Unfortunately, a lot of our brothers and sisters were held captive by a lot of these different folks, the Portuguese, the Spanish, so, we offer some of these languages,
are in languages, people always talk about, whether the slave trade happened or not. I'm like, they have the records. You probably can't read them.
Man, listen.
They got
I'm often surprised when folks even say some crazy shit like that. I'd be like, oh, word? Like, okay. Because at that point, it's like we really don't have anything else to talk about because of the fact that, we're not even speaking the same language right now. Did it happen?
Yeah. We definitely different now because we can't even agree on the basics. So, where we go from here?
Man, out the gate. Yes, sir.
Talking about this national coalition to combat police terrorism, man. I know that's one of your grassroots organizations, but talk to me about, how that's going, how that progressed, how that got started.
Yeah, so basically the National Coalition to Combat Police Terrorism is a arm that we added on a few years ago. It's co-chaired by former U.S. Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney and former political prisoner and Blak Pantha leader, Dhoruba Ben Wahad. They co-chair it. I'm actually the coordinator. So what we've done over the years is move towards working with a number of different individuals in different cities and states about, what police terrorism is about and how to deal with it effectively. Because oftentimes we think that it's just about, some slick sound bites or, some slogans, hand up, don't shoot, I can't breathe, and all kinds of other stuff. I'm dead, whatever the hell they come up with. You know what I mean? So we wanted to work with a number of different folks who are in that particular lane. And we've done everything from putting together I'm sorry, I just had an accident a few days ago, so I'm on some medication. So if I sound like I'm all over the place, let me just give you that disclaimer. But basically, we deal with everything from decentralizing the police to putting in residency clauses in different areas. Whereas if there's if a person's going to be an officer in a certain community, he should live there at least 2 to 3 years to get to know the people who he's, working with. Our position on that is that if Officer Joe Blow lives next to Brother Ben, it's less likely that Joe Blow is going to deal with Brother Ben's son in any type of manner. If you see him out in the street acting crazy, whatever, he might knock on the door like, "Look, Brother Ben, your son out there acting nuts. You know what I mean? You need to holler at him for to, take him in. He ain't gonna be beating on him. You know what I mean? His children go to the same school as your children. Y'all go to the same church or whatever religious institution y'all part of, same supermarket. You're less likely to want to have problems with your neighbors like that, right?" Mm-hmm. So, we came up with different components and pieces that are being presented to a number of different politicians and lawmakers who could possibly get some of these referendums on the books.
Definitely. Now, I heard you mention Sister Cynthia McKinney, and three things come to mind when I hear her name. My mother was one of the people, advocating, vote for her to get in the House. Right. She was a big supporter of her when I was growing up. And I remember the MLK Records Act. I remember when she was advocating for the release of those records pertaining to, his him being surveyed by the FBI, his records of how he, his demise and everything from the government involvement. And she was one of the people who that the public had a right to know what happened to Martin Luther King, and those records were sealed, and she said that wasn't right. So, she fought for that. And I 2002 and 2005. Right. So, a lot of people may not know who she is. She's like a Georgia legend. I remember her involvement in that. I also remember her involvement in the Tupac Shakur Records Act. That is, story and records be released under the Freedom Act. So, she's put in a lot of work, man. And just, I know having her party organization is a powerful thing for people that don't look up Sister Cynthia McKinney. Cynthia McKinney served in the House for Georgia. She's taught at universities, all over the world. I believe at one point she even taught Bangladesh. Sister been all over, sharp sister. So having her in that organization, I know is a sword and a tool in your bag that can't be replaced. Definitely.
No question. One of the things I want to mention too that folks should look up on YouTube. There was type in Cynthia McKinney and Donald Rumsfeld. I don't know if you ever saw that video. That was something where she really gave these crackers the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when she did that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Regards to the war, you know, Afghanistan in particular. So definitely check out, you know, what she had to say and how she dealt with them. You know, they really despised her because of the fact that you're talking about a black woman with a natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Telling these white boys, these white heirs to this toilet bowl. You know what I mean? You know, telling them, you know, what the business is and questioning them and holding them, you know, accountable. You know what I mean? So, you know, definitely, you know, we have a number of different good folks that, you know, that work with us and we're working with. And, you know, we're grateful to be, you know, to be a part of our people's liberation movement. I think it's important. I think that folks take for granted that, you know, when you say stuff like the conscious community, the movement, so on and so forth, but it is an honor to be on the right side of things, man, because of the fact that we always talk about our ancestors. But if we're not continuing their legacy, then maybe we should just shut up talking about them. You know what I mean? Because you're using their name in vain. You know what I mean? If you're not doing that work, then you shouldn't even be, you know, you shouldn't even be uttering their name, because no one wants a coward to keep screaming their name, because they almost get confused with the coward being a snitch. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think, man, I think that was about 2005, 2006. I was in college at that point, man, and I remember her asking about a company called Don Corp, who I actually used to work for, but had no idea about this. Years later, they had some type of sex trafficking ring, and she was asking questions about that in her interview. Some type of child trafficking and other type of financial corruption that was going on, and she brought that to the forefront. So definitely a powerful sister that's not afraid to mix it up with anybody. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And people, yeah, if y'all type in Cynthia McKinney and Donald Rumsfeld, or I think it's Grills Donald Rumsfeld or something like that, it'll pop right up on YouTube, and y'all can check out giving them the business. You know,
yes, sir.
Giving them the business. Talk to me about the FTP movement, feeding the people, fighting the power, freeing the prisoners, fruition through persistence, all of the acronyms that comes with FTP. Talk to me about that.
No doubt. FTP movement is our mass organization. You know what I mean? FTP is the piece where you can just, you know, get involved with the work in the different areas. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, you have different pieces. You have the committed relationship, and you have the friends of. You know what I mean? So you can just come on and be a friend and help do some work. You know what I'm saying? So FTP is, you know, what it's been around since 2004. And like I mentioned earlier, we've done everything from international Feed the People programs. We've fed and served different survival packets throughout the world. You know what I mean? Everywhere from Zambia to Australia and Kenya, a number of other different places, you know, around the planet. You know, we've serviced since 2004, we've serviced over 250,000 packages throughout different parts of the country and different parts of the world. So that would be everything from food to different, you know, care packages, survival packages, so on and so forth. You know, and you know, besides that, it's a people's movement. You know, it's just something that, you know, something to get involved in, for lack of better words. You know, the easiest thing to you know, to push.
and that's coming up on this is 15 years for FTP. Am I right about that?
Yeah, we were actually it's 15 years in June, so we actually did a 15th anniversary art show. We did the screening for the film Organizing Is Cool and a number of other different pieces. But yeah, but aside, like I said, from the whole Feed the People aspect, we have a political prisoner campaign. We fight police terrorism, through that particular wing. And it's a, like I said, it's more like a organized mobilization type situation. We do a lot of mobilizing, but our main focus is organizing. And of course, mobilizing is when you get 1 million people out and everybody's mad and they go home. Organizing is when you get 1 million people out, everybody's mad, and you organize a percentage of those people to, keep on the right side of things.
Absolutely, keeping that energy, keeping that persistence. So I definitely,
Yes,
definitely agree with that. I'm gonna put in the chat right now this video that y'all did, man. That I'm super late on, but was banging in my ears for about 3 days, man. If y'all haven't heard this record, please check it out on YouTube, man. Siafu is the Army record. It's like the theme song for their revolution, man. Check that out. So many MCs on this record, even some that you're gonna recognize. Sister Cyrock is on this record. Sister Star is on this record. I mean, brother Zaid Malik is on this record. My brother Great Scott is on this record. El Sun. I mean, so many MCs on this track. Y'all gonna love this track, I'm telling you. So I've just put it in the chat room. Check that out, family. This thing is special. That's a special record. Not a lot of stuff make it in my iTunes these days, but that's one record. That's one record.
We appreciate that. Yeah, I know how you feel, man. I know how you feel.
I'm gonna go ahead and get this joint. I need that in my repertoire.
Man, we appreciate it. We actually did 2 albums before that. We did a joint Food, Clothes, and Shelter. It was a double CD. We had like 44 tracks on that.
Wow.
And that one was actually
where can the people get that at?
Man, that's a very good question. You can go to, let me see here, I believe it's Our Soil .bandcamp. Is that old? I'm sure it's somewhere else, but I think it was on Bandcamp last time I checked. But it's Our Soil. You can find that. I think it's oursoil.bandcamp.com. But you can find the Food, Clothes, and Shelter joint. Yeah. Yep. And we have another one called Black is Beautiful, Black is Powerful, which was our second one. So the first one, we actually, they put it on the cover of the Creative Loafing. It's a big joint with a number of the artists on this big red, black, and green flag. And they couldn't keep a Creative Loafing when that one came out.
Yeah, I found the link right now. So I'm gonna put this link in the chat as well, family. So y'all can check those CDs and musical productions out. And I want to remind everybody, every program that we're talking about on this broadcast, you can go to thepeoplesarmy.org and donate to these programs. You can, if you can't get involved physically, it's another way that you can get involved. I know the Siafu Youth Corp, y'all still trying to purchase that 15 passenger van, right?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I kind of faded out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, you can go online and donate to that cause. The Siafu Youth Corp, they're trying to purchase a 15 passenger van, transport the children, to various events. So y'all can go donate to them there. I've already put some of my money donated towards the documentary. So y'all won't say that I'm just talking. So, you know, y'all can follow suit. Organizing is the new cool.com. Y'all can donate there as well. So, you know, just get involved with people that's worthy of giving your money to. You know, we talk about scammers. We talk about the schemers in our community. We talk about people that's, you know, on the shady side. Well, this brother right here has been doing it, as you heard him say, 15, 20 years on the ground and really is in the community. I will vouch for him personally because I live in the same community. And when I'm home out and about, I see him. I see him at the events. I see him getting in work. Or if I don't see him, I see the people from the Siafu movement, and organizing is the new cool. You know, it took me a while to realize they were all under the same umbrella, but I see them out in the community doing their thing. Some of them are martial art instructors. Some of them grow their own food. Some of them are, you know, teachers at communities. I mean, this is really an umbrella that y'all can get behind and support. And that's why I wanted to bring the brother on this show, because often these grassroots organizations that's really doing the work do not get any shine on the platforms that we support and, you know, give our time to. And that's a shame. So y'all know me, I like to change the narrative. I like to stop complaining and just do something. So that's why I wanted to have Brother Kaloji on today. I appreciate you coming on, brother, and sharing all of your stories, all of your wisdom and your programs, and, you know, what you're doing is very much appreciated. And like I said to the people, man, get involved, man. You got anything else for the people, brother? Brother Kalanja.
I think he might have got a phone call because it said he left.
Oh,
Use it. Yeah, what happened is you leave and then he come right back. So
okay. Well, in the event that he doesn't, man, I'm glad we were able to do this. Organizing is the new cool.com, thepeoplesarmy.org. I put all the links in the chat. You know, y'all get out and support, man. Get out and support the grassroots organizations. And, you know, that's the only way that we gonna really give them the proper shine is we support them. If you got a platform, you know, get them on there. You know, that's just how I feel. You know, we've spent enough energy collectively on people that don't deserve it. You know, we ain't got to name names on that, but y'all know who I'm talking about. So, what's next for the Mossi War? Y'all coming on tomorrow, Brother Sean?
I think so. I mean, I'm gonna go live, but I'm gonna do like something impromptu, so it'll be out of the blue. It ain't nothing specific. I just really got my library back, man. So I'm trying to get reacclimated to, you know, the new home and organizing that. So once I get really settled in and I got my ducks in a row, I'm gonna bring the people some more information. There's a few things that I do want to kind of elaborate on, but I'll probably get into that tomorrow. We'll see what kind of fun we can get into tonight.
Oh, y'all be burning the midnight oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, this week, gonna work on questions because me and my Baba O'Day are gonna be back on the channel. Hopefully next Saturday, we're gonna work on doing a show about the Yoruba deity Eshu. A lot of misconceptions about Eshu. A lot of things have been said about this divinity that may or may not be true. So we're going to bring it to you from the Isheshe perspective. What is Eshu? What is he responsible for? What is his characteristics? And, you know, get into the trenches on this divinity. So looking to bring that to y'all next Saturday. Hope y'all enjoyed hanging out with us today. You know, like I said, man, support the grassroots organizations, man. And that's all I got for y'all for today. So hope you enjoy your Saturday. Please be safe. And I'm out. Odabo.